right, remember before we get to our problem, let's look at our anchor chart one final time. All right, so remember the difference between an analog clock and a digital clock. My analog clock has the two hands. The short hand is the hour, the long hand is the minute. Remember, there are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours in a day. Also, don't forget that 30 minutes means half past an hour. If my minute hand's on the 15 minutes, it means it's a quarter past the hour. And if my minute hand is on the 45th minute, it's a quarter to the next hour. Remember, my minutes are counted by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then we don't say 60. It just goes back to 00 for the new hour. So there's our review of our anchor chart. Let's go to my problem. All right, so I got my problem. Hopefully here it is. Remember, it says Miss Marshall graded papers this morning for 40 minutes. She then made a Nearpod presentation for an hour and 10 minutes. If Miss Marshall's Zoom meeting started at 11 a.m., what time did Miss Marshall start working today? So, yesterday, we started solving our problems by making a number line, right? So let's make me another beautiful number line. Let's make that. All right? And yesterday, we also, with the time given, we put it at the start time, right? Because it told me what time I started. But is this telling me what time I started or what time I ended my work? It's telling me what time I ended. So we're not going to put my time on the left side. If it's the end, we're going to put it at the end of my number line. So what time did I have to end my work? I had to end it at 11 a.m. So we're going to put 11 a.m. because that is the time I had to finish my work today. So let's see. I graded papers for 40 minutes and I made this presentation for an hour and 10 minutes. Let's think. Does it sound like I'm going to be going forward in time or going back in time? I'm going back in time, right? Because I worked before my Zoom meeting, so I got to go back in time. So let's make life easy. I know I'm going to go back an hour and 10 minutes and also 40 minutes. Let's make it easy. Let's go back an hour. I got to go backwards an hour. That's a big hour. So I'm going to put minus 1 hour. So what's 1 hour less than 11 a.m.? It's then 10 a.m. All right, I have now gone an hour back in time. Now I got to go back how many more minutes? 10, right? So let's jump back 10 more minutes. Boop, little baby ear jump. So let's go back 10 minutes. And I'm going to label it right here so I know what I'm doing. So what's 10 minutes less than 10 o'clock? Remember, I've got to go back in time. So it's not going to be bigger. If I go 10 minutes back, think of my clock. It'd be a new hour, wouldn't it? It'd be 9, what? 50, right? 9:50 a.m. Bam. So I've got my hour and 10 minutes. I went back. Now I have to go back how many more minutes? 40. So let's jump back 40. Do you think we can handle it? I think we can handle it. Let's jump back the full 40. Woo, big jump. So that's bigger than the 10 minutes. Let's go back the full 40 minutes. All right. So what is 40 minutes before 9:50? Remember, I've got to subtract that 40 minutes from those 50 minutes. So what's 50 minus 40? Well, we know my minute would be 10, and my hour still is the same at 9, so it is 9:10 a.m. So what time did I start working today? I started at 9:10 a.m. because I worked 40 minutes, and then I worked an hour and 10 minutes. So you can double check your work by then going forward in time to check. If I started at 9:10, I worked 40 minutes, it's then 9:50. I then worked an hour and 10 minutes. So if I jump 10 minutes ahead, it's then 10 o'clock, and then jump another hour at 11 for my meeting. So that makes sense. So I started work at 9:10 a.m. Let's go through one more problem real quick before we get to our 3-question exit tickets. So let's go to this problem here. It looks a little bit different. All right. Let's check. It says John did his homework as soon as he arrived home from school. Whoops, I don't know why it's titled Robin. That's still from yesterday. It's John. Alright, so like I said, John did his homework as soon as he arrived from school. He practiced his spelling words for 20 minutes. He completed his math homework in 15 minutes. He read his book for 10 minutes. After John finished reading his book, he looked at the clock shown below. So let's zoom in on that clock so we can read it. And my question's asking me, at what time did John arrive home from school? Alright, so let's first dive right back into this. Let's first figure out how much time did John spend completing his homework. Let's first think about that. How much time did John spend completing his homework? He did spelling words for 20 minutes, his math homework for 15 minutes, and read his book for 10 minutes. So how much total time did he spend on his homework? Well, if I add 20 plus 15 plus 10, what do I get? Let's first figure out how much time he spent on his homework. He spent 45 minutes, right? So he spent 45 minutes on his homework. All right, now it says after he finished his homework, he looked at the clock below. Let's look at our clock. Let's first see, what time is this? What time is this clock telling me? My hour hand's past the 4, and my minute hand is at, here's 5, 6, 7, 8. So my minute hand's at the 8. It's past 4 o'clock, not quite 5, so the time on my clock says 4:08. And I'm going to assume it's PM because it's homework after school. It wouldn't make sense for it to be AM, would it? Because would he be doing his homework at 4 o'clock in the morning? No. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that and assume it's PM. All right. So we know it's 4:08, and he took 45 minutes. But my question's asking me, what time did he get home from school? If he started working right when he got home, what time did he get home? All right, well, let's make that number line and make it look real pretty. Let's do it. All right, so we know my end time was what? What time did he end his homework? 4:08 p.m. So I got my end time. He ended at 4:08. I got to figure out what time he started. This seems simple enough, and I know how much time he worked. He worked 45 minutes. So am I going forward or back in time? I got to go back in time because I got to figure out what time I started. So I got to go back 45 minutes. Ooh, that's hard. Let's make life a little bit easier. Let's make it easy. Let's decompose our 45. Let's decompose it. Let's decompose it into, I'm feeling 8, and what would I be left? 37. I want to decompose an 8 and 37 because I can take away the 8 real quick from 4:08. Because if I just take 8 minutes from 4:08, what time is it then? Make it pretty, make it easy. It's then just 4 o'clock, right? Ooh, that was a little bit easier. All right, so now it's just 4 o'clock. Bam. Now I've got to go back 37 minutes. That's hard. I don't want to do that. Can I decompose 37 into something more friendly? I can, right? Can I just decompose it into 30 and 7? All right, because I can jump back 30 minutes from 4 o'clock. What if I jump back 30 minutes from 4 o'clock? Remember, I'm going backwards, so I'm putting minus. If I jump 30 minutes from 4 o'clock, what time is it then? It is then 3:30 p.m. Because remember, I'm going backwards. All right, so I've done the 30. Now I got to go back how many more minutes? How many more minutes do I got left to go back? 7. Well, I can do that. That's not hard. I got to go back 7 little baby minutes. If it's 3:30 and I go back 7 minutes, what time will it then be? Still 3 something. So what's 30 minus 7? It is 23. So what time did John start his homework? He started it at 3:23 p.m. All right, so remember, If I have my end time, I'm going to start my number line over here, and I'm going to go backwards, so subtracting. All right? Yesterday, we went forward in time. Today, we went back in time. We time traveled back. So you've got 3-question exit ticket on your next slide. Get that done for me, please. Don't skip it. I can tell if you skip it. All right? Try your best to answer the questions. All right? Show some work on the piece of paper. Make my number lines, because trust me, I still make my number lines too, because I can't do this all in my head. All right? I will see you then after my questions. Let's go rock it.